Well, hello, everyone. We're here with our second expert of the year, Emerald Sparks. She is a financial strategist, and she's going to share with us all her knowledge. She's going to give us some tips, and she's going to help us out with getting our finances together. Thank you for joining us, Emerald.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, so you're a financial strategist, but before we go into that, I want to kind of let everyone know, like, how did we meet? How did we cross paths and things like that?
I think Gail found me out the blue. Didn't know Gail. She found me on Facebook. She reached out to me to be a part of her conference for last year. And I said, yes, I was an expert last year. I was personal and business expert. And that's how we met. We met, I guess, through Facebook.
I'm always reaching out to people, especially, women, of course. But I don't know. It's just something about, seeing another woman doing something and seeing how I can help, how I could kind of add value to them. So for the conference, you want to speak about the conference just a little bit, just kind of like share your experience with the conference, just a tad bit.
So the conference was really good. It had a lot of great women. I enjoyed the experts that you had covering basically the entire spectrum of a business. Like you had somebody from marketing there, branding, me with finances. You had people from Chicago, people from New York. So I think you had a lot of expertise in the room. And then the breakout sessions you had, where I didn't get to see those because I was in the expert room, I heard people rave about the speakers that you had brought in. So yes, that's a little tidbit.
Right. All right, so let's go into financial strategists or financial strategists. What is that exactly for those people that just don't know what that is?
So what that is, that's basically a title I created, and then I saw other people become a financial strategist. I'm like, they copied my name, right? So really what that is I create strategies for your finances, both on the personal and the business side. So it's more than like an advisor. So I took it a step beyond just giving you advice to giving you strategies that you can actually implement, personalize, and implement into your life.
So when you say that you give out strategies, I guess it depends on a person's financial situation, right? And where they are. But when it comes to like, what do you see that's like the most common of anything that you see when you help people with their finances?
On the personal side, people have a lot of personal debt. They have a lot of bad management habits. And that's the most common. Money is a tool, and it's really just a tool to help us create the lifestyle that we want and help us build wealth. And people attach a lot of emotions to money, so they get really emotional about it. So it's almost like getting emotional about a hammer. Like, people don't usually get emotional about a hammer. It does what it does. It either puts the nail in or it takes the nail out. And that's what money is. Money is a tool, and people shouldn't get emotional about it.
So how do you help someone on a personal level to not become so emotional? Or how do you help them break that emotional habit to money?
So it's really a process, and what my coaching package or program will take them through is kind of analyzing their relationship with money. So where did that start? How is it now? How did that develop? And that is a huge part of overcoming the attachment or the emotion that we have towards money.
So just go into that process a little bit. What is that process? What does that look like?
In the program, it's a series of, first we talk, it's a lot of talking. We do a lot of talking around your current financial situation. Then I go back into like maybe how you were brought up. So, excuse me, was it single parent? What was your environment like? What comments did you hear about money? Are you, did anyone in your family go to college? what were they telling you as a female? Sometimes they get told, marry a rich man, or, to get money, you can't be a certain type of profession because you're a woman. So hearing things like that. So if you hear, women are only supposed to be school teachers and nurses, and that's ingrained into you, that's a certain income level that you're stopping at in your mind. So teachers make no more than $40,000 a year. Depending on a nurse, depending on if you get your license, you can make six figures and all that stuff. But those are traditionally women roles. No one's telling women to go be engineers or things like that. So just all the things that we think don't affect how our relationship is with money, I ask those questions in a form of a question. There's a questionnaire that I go through when you enroll in my coaching packages and things like that, to really help me understand how you deal with money, because a lot of it is not our fault. It's really just what we've been doing out of habit. And I need to identify those habits, because every plan that I put together is personalized. So I make it personalized on your habits as well as your circumstances. So not just like, what are you bringing in every month, but realistically, how are you going to deal with this money in this plan that I give you?
It's interesting that you say that, because when I just heard you say it's a way of it was how we were brought up. I call it BS, right? And probably a lot of people call it BS, which is also known as the belief system. And being able to target the root, or really get to the root of the problem, I think that's an excellent way to kind of, help someone come out of whatever situation that they're going through. So after you talk to them and you tailor the program to their way of thinking or how they spend their money, then what happens next?
So then that's when we get into where you are financially. So like I do a complete financial overhaul. I look at what bank you're banking with, bank accounts you have, credit cards you're using, type of credit that you have, what's your income, what's your expenses. We identify goals, and then I create action items for you to achieve those goals. Most of the times the goals extend past us working together, but they have a plan that they can always refer to make sure that they stay on track. So a part of the coaching package, I'm coaching you through that plan. So I'm like your accountability partner. I'm your cheerleader. I'm making sure that you are actually completing the action steps to achieve those goals that you identify. Whereas I have a plan package where I just put together a plan for you. Those are for self-starters. Those are for people who are like easily self-motivated. And that is just making sure that you're working that plan. So I have a few different options for different, like learning styles, how people learn. Some people need a coach, other people don't. And then we just, start working out those goals and making sure that you're staying on track.
Now, what is the success rate of someone coming through your program?
100%. Duh.
Of course. I know
the way my plan.
Question is that, Gail?
Right. What kind of question is that?
I know, right? You think I'm gonna say 50%?
But realistically, the pricing of my plans, if you do not, they're priced and structured in a way for you to achieve them 100%. Because it being an entrepreneur, if you price something too low, people like, I don't really care about it. But if you price it, at the right price, and that person is motivated to complete their goals, I don't have no problems with that. The problems that I have issues with is payment, I guess.
Yeah. But you know what? Even with my coaching program, and it's just a disclosure that I disclose with everyone that I coach with. Like, it only works if you work. Like, right. I can give you all the advice, suggestions. I can show you. You can be on my hip, and I can walk it through with you. However, if you don't apply those things and do the work, that determines your success rate.
Right. Right.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, book. I love books. I'm always talking about reading. I love self-help books and inspirational books. But there are a whole bunch of other books too. Like I'm just not a non-fictional person. The Alchemist, that was one of my other favorite books, and that was like a fictional book, my first fictional book. But when it comes to a book, what was the last book? Well, first give us the last book that you've read, and then share with us the best book that we can go and get to kind of help us with our finances or with anything that you think has helped you or other people that you've recommended it to.
Okay, so the last book that I read is actually a reread. It was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm sure people have heard about that. It's an old book, but it has many different covers. And then the book that has helped me, or that I think helps people, well, you know what? I won't even say that it helps them financially, because a lot of financial things, like, we know what to do financially, right? It's just all about doing it. And really the book that put things into perspective for me, and people may laugh at me because I don't know how people feel about this man, but was actually, what was it? Think like a boss, act like a success. It's Steve Harvey's book. It's his
Oh,
book.
okay. Think like a man, but act like a lady.
No, not that one. It's like he has another one called Think Like a Boss, Act Like a Success, or something like that.
Okay,
It
okay.
was one of the books that I read. It has like a blue cover. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the title. Um, it was one of the books that I read when I was starting my entrepreneur pursuits. That book really helped me identify what I was going to become an entrepreneur in. So that was helpful. I do not read too many financial books besides my own, because financial books are wordy. They're just have like these, like Suze Orman or like Dave Ramsey. They have these big, they like generalize a lot of things in finances, and I don't think that it's appropriate all the time. Like, I had one lady came up to me and she was like, I had listened to Dave Ramsey, and he told me and my husband to sell both our cars. I said, well, how y'all getting to work? And she was like, I don't know. I said, well, that doesn't work for y'all. So let's figure out something that's going to work for y'all. And I think those overgeneralizations make it seem like people's finances are all the same, and they're not. Their incomes are all the same. How they, their relationship with money is all the same, and it's not. So that's why everything I do is I try to do it customized, and I create something just specifically for that person. I may be asking for the same things, like I need to know how much money you make. I need to know what your expenses are. But the way I tailor and structure that plan is different.
Why do you think Suze Orman and Dave Ramsey, they're like the top of the crop? Like, they're the most popular when it comes to giving out financial advice, and they're the financial expert.
Well, I'm not really sure why that is. I could say because they're old and white. But I don't know. I guess if you've been doing something for so long, people just look at you. They give you TV deals. They give you book deals. I'm like, okay. So and that's why I started doing finances, or that's why I have such a passion for finances, because there's no one that looks like me, that talks like me, to help people know that, being financially healthy is not just a white thing or an old thing. Like, it's something that you can attain, because somebody that looks like you has an 800 credit score. They're investing, they have good credit and all that stuff. So when I go and speak to these kids at these high schools, I want them to know, like, no, you don't have to be a rapper or a celebrity to have an 800 credit score. They probably don't even have credit scores that high, honestly, because they have cash. I was listening to Kylie Jenner talk about like credit cards and stuff. I'm like, she probably has a really bad credit score because she doesn't probably have any credit because she has cash. So things like that. And that's why I go into these schools, to give them a face, to say, hey, somebody that looks like you and talks like you and walks like you is financially healthy, and you can do that too.
Think and Grow Rich. That's one of my favorite books. That was like I want to say probably my fourth book that I've read. Napoleon Hill. Excellent, excellent book. But I always want to know, like, what did people get out of it, right? Like, so I can kind of hear their perspective and see if there was something that I missed, or if there was something that I didn't see or did resonate with me. But when you read that book, like, what do you get out of that book?
So it was one part where I feel like this man manifested $1 million. So I think he was asking for money from the church for something or whatever, but it's all about that like attraction, like what you think, like, and it helped me be more positive in my thoughts. I was like, if that man can manifest $1 million, I was like, I can certainly manifest $1 million. So, and it was just like thinking and like putting yourselves in situations to have that type of money come to you. And so it really helps with your mindset. Cause like, where I come from, like money doesn't grow on trees. Like nobody that I know is wealthy. Nobody I know owns a business or anything like that. So I had these things like, well, no, I'm not going to be successful. Nobody else that I know has done what I'm doing. But it's like when I read that, I was like, people are just manifesting all type of stuff. And I was like, I need to change my mindset because that law of attraction, that thing is real, like the universe and God, all that stuff. I believe in all that stuff, like it's all real.
Well, that's good. That's good because that's what I got out of it too. No, but it is true. It is true. The laws of attraction. It's like, and I tell people a lot of times, like life is like a boomerang. Like what you think is gonna come right back to you. How you operate, it's going to come right back to you. So whether it's negative, positive, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get it right back. And it even goes deeper than that, not to even go deep, but it goes deeper than that, especially if you have children. So, yeah, this was good. This was good. So Think and Grow Rich. That's one of my favorite books. Did you want to leave any words of wisdom? Oh, well, you know what? Wait a minute. Before we go into that, what are some tips? Like when it comes to talking about finances, it's like, it's kind of boring. You know what I mean? It's like, what is so exciting about finances? Like you got so many of these financial literacies and financial this, financial that. But I do realize that if you put on an event and you talking about finances, don't nobody want to go. But if I was your client, or I'm not even going to say if I was your client, but like, what are some tips that you can kind of share with us in terms of our finance when it comes from on a personal and a business level? Because, as entrepreneurs, we're taking risks, we're investing constantly, not only with our money, but we're also investing our time and energy, but really with our money than anything. Like, what are some tips that you kind of share with us?
So first of all, I make finances fun. So I'm not boring when I do workshops, when I do course, anything, like I make it fun. Cause what I do is I include like some type of pop culture in there or some famous song that's on the radio that we've all been talking about. And then even when I talk about it, like, I'm not like using big financial words. I'm not trying to make it seem like you're a super bad person because you don't understand finances. But some tips on the personal side of dealing with money is to have a budget, and because that's the foundation of any good solid financial plan. Anything that you're going to do, you at the basis, you're going to want to know how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and if that adds up. And if that doesn't add up, you need to be okay with that and make some changes so that you can achieve your goals. In my book, I always say, there are things that we take out of our budget that we don't have to take out of our budget forever. Just because you can't get your nails done or hair done for 3 months or whatever, doesn't mean I never want you to get your hair done, or that I think getting your hair and nails done is a waste of money. If that's something that you can afford to put in your budget, have it in there. But if you can't do that and achieve your financial goal, then I don't think it should be bigger than achieving your financial goal. And then once you achieve it, put it back in there. Get your hair and nails done. I don't care. So that's my advice there. Have a budget, have a solid budget, know what's coming in your household, know what's going out.
Mm-hmm.
On the business side, same thing, have a budget and hire a tax preparer and a bookkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing taxes this year for my entrepreneurs, it was it's sad because people are still getting their information to me because they have expenses over so many different accounts. They have to compile everything. They may have missed out on some deductions. And as an entrepreneur, like, we like our deductions. Like, though, that's our bread and butter. Like, that's how we get money back, if you are going to get money back. And not having that organized, not knowing, then realizing that they actually spend more in their business than they wanted to. Like, get a bookkeeper.
Now, if you can't afford a bookkeeper, what are some resources that we can use out here? I mean, if we don't have the budget and we can't afford it at the moment, what can we use?
QuickBooks is good. That is what I set my bookkeeping clients up on. I think it's very cost-effective and user-friendly. Mm-hmm. There are other bookkeeping systems. I think they are more expensive than QuickBooks, though. Mm-hmm. So there's another platform called Xero, and it starts with an X. Mm-hmm. So QuickBooks or Xero. But get your business finances in order, because what matters is that bottom line. And if that bottom line is red, or if you don't know how to organize your business finances, you're not going to be a business loan, because it takes money to run a business. I don't care what nobody say. Mm-hmm. You need money to continue to run your business. So, those are my tidbits of advice.
Now, what's the name of your book, Emerald?
Vision, Future, Reality: How to Budget Like a Boss.
Okay, and how can we find you?
You can find me. Everything that I do is on my website, amzn.to, but I am also on Facebook as Emerald Sparks, and then I am on Instagram as She's a Gem.
Okay. All right. Well, this was good. Did you have anything else you want to share, kind of get out there, or you okay with what we've gotten so far?
I think I'm okay.
This is my second interview. It's my second interview. I'm so excited. All right. Well, you heard it, everyone. You know where to find Emerald Sparks, the financial strategist. Make sure you reach out to her. Make sure you check out her website. And, if you do go to her, let her know how you found her and how you discovered her. Until then, we'll see you next time.